Hello?
Hi, John.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you, sir?
Well, it comes and goes. Yeah. So, where are you at? What city or state?
I am in North Carolina.
Whereabouts?
At Chapel Hill.
Well, that sounds cool. I mean, it's a pretty hip place. How can I help you? What are you looking to do?
Well, thanks for your time. I need to have a fresh start in 2017. I had a career plan that didn't go as well as I thought it would.
Wait a minute, you said
And,
you're 17? I'm sorry, John. Are you are you 17, you said?
I said the year 2017.
Oh, 2017. Okay, you want to start doing 2017. I think I do too. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe we do this together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, what were you doing before?
Well, I was actually working in law. I was going to be an attorney.
Ah,
Yeah.
did you do any schooling for it yet, or just working in law?
I was just working in the law firm.
Okay. So do you have any interest on what you really want to do?
It's going to sound kind of wonky, but I think I just want peace and harmony in the new year. I know that's not really.
Well, you got to get out of town then, man.
I mean, that's the honest answer.
Yeah. Okay, but I mean, do you want to hang around? You want to go to another? I mean, okay, what peace and harmony? I mean, what comes to mind? If you could get to another country that's dying to speak English, I mean, like there's countries all over the world, that you could probably live and teach English because you know English, So I mean, if you want to get out of town, there's ways to do that. If you want to stay around, gosh, I mean, what comes to my mind is, instead of getting a jail job, I mean, you're in a pretty good city there, you're a big size city, that there's things for, if you look Peers, PEERS.org, that's keeping track of people who are able to make money in the gig economy. Are you familiar with that term?
Yeah.
Okay. And there's a lot of ways to do that. Like my son's an IT guy and work on an important thing, and he works on one of these things on and off, just to make extra money, keep his body and soul together. So that, and they're not like old traditional part-time jobs. If you had to deliver pizza for some guy, he wanted you there every day. and so they're very flexible, kind of thing. So it's like having a job, but no boss, and nobody really hassles you a bunch. There's no commitment. It's, every day it's another one-night stand. So that's an interesting way if you're trying to piece together something to give you some leeway to income to do that. And I think you're talking about peace and harmony. Well, I think what life is finding something you really think is important to do in life, or important to contribute to life. I mean, like being a lawyer, man, unless you love it. I mean, that sounds dreadful. Especially being in a law firm, it sounds even worse of being a lawyer. But I mean, you find a service, you find something that you think is important to do, that is something coming from your soul. So it's not work every day. I mean, just think if you had the gift of Picasso to paint, right? And so if you had those kind of talents, you knew every day when you woke up, you had to paint. That's why I used to envy these people, like who have art. Man, they knew what the hell they had to do. It was so neat to get up, but the rest of us struggle around because we don't know what to do. And all the stuff that's out there, they're looking for workers. I don't want to really do that. So to me, what it is trying to find something in your life that's meaningful to your soul that you could contribute to the world, and then figure out how to get paid to do it. and there's so many ways to package things now that weren't there before. Uh, and to hang a shingle and just say you do this stuff and look for customers. And there's so many ways to do that now. And that's what I think is so great about the economy now. All these gig economies, which they say aren't secure, that's true, but being in jail certainly is secure, but it's not a nice place to be.
That's funny.
So what other kind of things come to your mind? I'm babbling away, and this is your time, huh?
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just, well, how do I put it? Sometimes you feel like you're navigating life, and sometimes life feels like it's navigating you.
Oh, yeah. The thing is that just don't let the water go over the head,
I just need to sort of move forward with some kind of confidence in a new direction.
Yeah. Well, you got to build that, and I think because you got to get positive feedback to do that. So you got to work your ass out of something so you get positive feedback. And it's terrible to work your ass out of stuff you hate to do, but it's fun to work your ass out of something you like to do, and that's it. Do you have a family? You got responsibilities, or what's home like, John?
I am actually taking care of my mom these days.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing. What I would do, tell the truth, make sure you have all her benefits you could take advantage of. I mean, that she's getting everything. So if you make sure you call the 211, anytime you have a problem with something, your mom has a problem, you call 211 or the area office on aging. That they'll hook you up with some nonprofit or local community group to solve that problem, even if it's financial or whatever. Now, the other thing, John, what I would do is sort of, I think in choosing something, we don't really know the answer, and I think that stops us from doing things because we're looking for a perfect answer. And a perfect answer doesn't come to you when you're trying to think of it. A perfect answer comes after you fail it 100 times, sort of like have 100 shitty jobs or have 100 shitty dates or whatever it is. That focuses the mind on what you should have done in the first time. But you can't, it seems, until you go through all that process. So I think one way to get through there is just take the best idea you have at the time, even though it's not perfect. Follow it for a little while. Say, I don't know, I always wanted to bake bread or some stuff like that, So go be an apprentice somewhere to break bread just to see what it's like. Say, I'll come in and clean your ovens on Saturday and learn how to bake bread with you. Something just so you see, and just to get it on the way. Because if you have life has, in our society, has too many options, And so you got to get rid of stuff and build and focus on the one that is more relevant, and you don't really know that until you start falling on your ass a bunch. It's not very helpful, is it, John?
No, you're exactly right.
Yeah, I think we're all looking for a perfect answer, and it's in us, and it just takes a lot of trial and error to get there. And we throw money at gurus and degrees, and how many lawyers in that law firm hate coming to work every day, huh?
All of them.
Right, all of them, right? See, and they got advice from their parents and loved ones and everybody, go get a lawyer. They're spending the rest of their life hating themselves. So you're ahead of the game, John.
Yeah.
Your session has ended. Please take a moment to rate this session.
Okay, are you finally convinced that the experts don't know shit? They don't know what they're talking about. Everybody's guessing and guessing wrong nowadays. And that's why, yeah, I think we really have to be careful about relying on experts. I mean, look at this is the website, 538.com. This is like the guru of all polling data. And look what he had. Even the night before the election, he said Hillary had a 71% chance of winning and Trump only 28%. Man, actually, 6 months ago, everybody thought Trump had a 0% chance. And 2 years ago, when he was started, people laughed at him. And look at him, he's now the president. And so you're taking your advice from experts, man. They're no better than you or I, it seems. It can't. Our life is so different nowadays. It can't be. We used to be able to rely on history to give us a clue what the future will be like, but now that doesn't work anymore. So we're going to these same people, and they're wrong, and we're not trusting ourselves enough. That's what I think is the problem. Is that we have just as much chance of being right or wrong, and I think if we trust ourselves, we could be more right because we'll work hard at it. If it's our own decision, if somebody else, we're taking their decision and it's wrong, then we just say the guy was an idiot, and then I'll never listen to him again. But if we're wrong when we make the decision, then we try to understand it better and get more out of that. What was wrong about it, so we could grow better instead of taking the advice of experts. I mean, it's good to have advice from people just to make sure you're not jumping off a cliff or something like that. But you really have to look within yourself, because you're the responsible for yourself to make that decision, and you can, and you know enough, because we're all so unique. Nobody knows you as well as you. I mean, look at other things. It's not only the politicians. Look at this. It recently came out. Almost all men with early prostate cancer survive 10 years regardless of your treatment. That's right. Whether you had an operation, didn't have an operation, you had this, that, whatever. No matter what the hell you did, you had the same survival rate. And you go to the doctor and they're going to tell you, oh, this will go to cure you. And they're guessing. They don't know. So that's why you really have to get as much information as you can and make the decision yourself. What is important for you? No one could tell. And it lives in your shoes like you do. And you could use these experts as some input or whatever, but they don't know. They're guessing, and that's why it's taking control of your own life and deciding what to do, and become more fun because you're involved in the process. You're not giving up your soul to somebody else to tell you how to live life or do these things or whatever. You're 9 times out of 10 you're going to fail anyway, so you might as well fail doing it your way because you work harder at it. Well, here's another thing. Look at scientific journals. They're mostly wrong. Most scientific papers are probably wrong. Isn't that incredible? Now, this is the biggest, the best information we have, whether it's prostate cancer or coffee, good or bad for you. Like the data, you read this thing after you Google something like this, up to 60, 70% of these studies, the results are wrong within just a few years. They can't duplicate them. I mean, the whole process is full of problems. When we do these studies, I mean, it's something to take into consideration, sure, but remember, 2/3 are wrong. Yeah, and these are the best people we got doing this stuff. So the whole system. I mean, that's why I think it's just so much more comforting. I think if we rely on ourselves and take that kind of responsibility. Now, here's another thing too that bothers me. Let me move this guy over here. Venture capitalists. Okay, now, so you're talking about what kind of business you should start, right? And this is going to be, and we're all looking for inside stories about how to make $1 million. Okay, the richest guys in the world, and they're mostly guys because venture capitalists are 95% men. They're wrong over 75% of the time. In other data I've seen, it's 80, 90% of the time. They're wrong. So we go to these people thinking that they know what's going to be popular. We're begging them for money and trying to convince them that this is a good idea. They're wrong. Why convince them? They don't know what the hell works. They're only right, 20-25% of the time. So don't trust what they say. Like these people on Shark Tank or whatever, they know what's going to happen. That's stupid. They don't. They're wrong 70-80% of the time. Forget about them. Do it yourself. Find a way around them. And you can now, too. These venture capitalists with all the big money, they don't control the world. You can go out and raise money on the internet now so much easier with crowdfunding and all these kinds of other things that are out there available for you to do things. So get the experts out of your life. And I mean, sure, use them. It may be helpful, but don't build your life around these kind of people. It's your life. You have one life to live. You want to use yourself as much as possible. And I think the way to do that is do the things that you believe in, because then you'll work harder than anybody else. If somebody says, oh, do this, because then you'll make a lot of money. But if it's not really in your heart, you're not going to make sure it makes you money. Something that you really want to do. You'll put in the time and effort necessary to make that happen. So screw the experts. Your best expert is your heart, your own heart. Listen to that sucker more. We got enough nonsense put in our heads by other people. Start looking at your heart more. Make those decisions. You hear me, Michael?
Yes.
Great. Sorry it took so long to get together.
All right. I finally found a spot where I can communicate without too much noise and distraction.
I see. Well, that's nice. So where are you located?
Right now I'm in Dallas. I'm headed to Houston today about 5 o'clock. And I'll be hanging down there for a month or two.
Oh, cool. So what do you think? I'm not, sounds like you're doing fun stuff. What is it?
Well, there's a variety of different projects that I'm working on. About 7 years ago, I heard this rumor that no matter how much money you make, you can't take it with you when you die. And so I've decided instead of spending the rest of my life enriching myself, I thought I'd spend the rest of my life enriching the world.
Cool.
And so I'm an engineer by training. And what's at the core of what engineers do is problem solve.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at one of the biggest problems that's out there, and lo and behold, it was student debt.
You bet.
So, so what I did was I started a free online university using a system similar to Blackboard or Moodle, and then I brought in all the open courseware from MIT, Stanford, UC Berkeley, Yale, University of Houston, and lectures, textbooks. So it's basically a university.
Mm-hmm.
And then of the 840 courses, 200 of them prepare students for credit by examination. The APs, the CLEPs, the IB, the SSTs. So there's several hundred of those courses. And I provided the basically the free education, and then they just go take a test from the college board. They're all proctored exam, and so you show your ID, and they say, they verify that you're the test taker, and you sit for a test.
And are these
so
only...
No hanky.
Do you have to be registered at the college, or?
What they do is you can take tests, and like for instance, the APs and the CLEPs, which are brothers to each other, they're both from the college board. The APs.
Oh, the AP test. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
The advanced placements. They're typically done as like a sophomore, you take one semester, and then junior you can take two.
So is this a way? Excuse me, Mike. Is this a way to get, like, if I wanted to go to college, I could take train for taking AP exams, right? That will give me college credit for the college I go to, right? And the course. So you have courses. So your courses train for like the AP exams, or what?
Yes.
Yes, I see.
There's actually, so which is cool is, so I started like 2010, and then 2 years after I started, Coursera started.
Right.
And you're a big proponent of open People's University, right?
Yeah. No, I believe in all that stuff. Yeah.
started about the same time period as he started.
Uh-huh.
And his rely upon textbooks and some audio. Mine rely upon YouTube lectures, text, audio, and a learning management system.
A learning, what was it? A learning manual you said or something?
Management system.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So it's a university, basically.
Uh-huh.
So you enter the module, like for instance, we have an SAT math prep exam. You enter the exam and the clock starts ticking down, and you finished as many as you can finish, or you run out of time, and it immediately grades it. And then I have the Khan Academy solving all the questions you just worked on.
Ah, I see. Cool. Now, so the initial course, say if I want to get an AP in physics or something like that, an AP exam, do I take the course on your site then?
Yes.
Okay. Is it your course, or are you funneling that in from another?
I'm bringing it. Most likely, it's going to be the one from MIT.
I see. So this is a course for physics, or is it for AP physics to take the test?
It's either or.
I see.
We actually see that. Now here's the thing: is APs are usually done by that age group. Now CLEPs, which are the brothers to the APs, do the exact same test, basically.
I see. Yeah.
But without a high school teacher, and there's 33 of those.
I see.
Right. And there's no age requirement, so you could be in third grade and earn college credit.
Cool. No, all that sounds.
So there's an 18.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's an 18-year-old that teaches mathematics at the University of Louisiana, and she has her PhD.
Wow.
She's 18 years old. And that's who taking credit by exam. Basically, there's 4 ways of getting a degree. I'll re-enumerate it for you. The first way is brick and mortar and online, like University of Arizona, Phoenix Online.
Right.
Those are time-consuming and expensive.
The
second way is credit by examination, which are like the College Board's APs and CLEPs, and the federal government's DSSTs or Dantes, and the International Baccalaureate, and then the TECEP and the ECC, and then the New York University has a language test in 50 languages from New York University. And then there's a whole bunch more. So the third way of basically getting university credit to get a bachelor's or a master's is to challenge courses. It's like when you open up your brochure, go online to choose your upcoming courses for your university. You take macroeconomics, prerequisite microeconomics, or permission of instructor. You go to the instructor and say, I already know microeconomics. Here's you the final. And if you pass it, you get the units and you pay a small tuition. At UCLA, they charge you a third.
Oh, I see.
So you save 2/3.
Yeah.
You save your time and you save 2/3.
Right.
Now, the last way is by life and work experience. Okay. So where somebody signs off, you worked at a TV broadcasting stations, and so the station manager would sign off that you do professional quality work, so you don't have to do Studio 1 and Studio 2 as your core for communication. Now, there's 2 state universities, one out of New Jersey called Thomas Edison, which will take all 120 units of credit by examination.
Really?
Yes, and Charter Oaks out of Connecticut. They're both state schools, region accredited, just like your alma mater and mine. And then there's Excelsior out of New York. And you do not have to go to those campuses. Now, you asked me the question about the test results. The College Board would send the test results directly to the institution.
I see.
So there's no hanky-panky.
Right. So in other words, so like Thomas Edison, or I think I know physics. So to get college courses, do I just sign up for an AP physics exam?
A CLEP.
A CLEP?
Most likely CLEP.
Okay. Because I'm not in high school, is that right? Or what?
Right. You could be in elementary school, you can be in middle school, you can be in high school, you can be in college.
Okay. So I sign up for a CLEP.
Now, right.
And then
now, if you go to my website, World Mentoring, go ahead.
Yeah. Now I signed up for a CLEP test. I take the CLEP test in physics, so I was a passing grade. So then when I'm applying for a college, I'll show them that. Is that it?
No. You say Thomas Edison is. You decide to go to Thomas Edison or Charter Oaks or Excelsior.
Right.
They then will, ask the college board for your test results. So you never have custody of no hanky panky.
Right. But I mean, as far as what I'm trying to think of is how do I get a degree? I mean, if I went to the University of Maryland, would it be the same thing, or just at Thomas Edison and Charter Oaks?
Okay, yeah. You could go. Each university is slightly different. Okay, so one you could do the full degree. The second one you could do is you could do a part of your grade at UCLA or all the various different schools.
But can I do it remotely by taking CLEPs?
Yes.
I see. Yes. I see.
Now, also, so if you go to my website, on the left side, you'll see Get College Credit. You click that, it'll take you to a page explaining everything, including a description of the test, and even what the test results, people that have taken it before, what's the pass rate.
Cool. I'm going to lose you in a few seconds, I think.
All right. Also, edX, which is from Harvard and MIT, has AP classes.
Oh, they have AP classes, huh? That you could take on
Harvard and MIT.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. If you'd like to take a look at my site a little bit more, and then we can set up another office time.
Sounds good. No, thank you for doing this, Michael. Yeah, it sounds good. Let me get into it more.
No problem.
Okay? Take care. Have fun in Houston.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, it's all right. Take it easy. Good talking to you. Let's save these people some money.
You betcha. Okay, now let's cover federal sources of money for business. Now, as you seen earlier, that most of the money really goes to state and local and county governments and stuff like that. But what I put here is just a major program, so you don't miss something that's obvious and, and that you may come back to later. Now, the first one here is SBIRs. Now, this is small business, Innovative Research Grants. And so SBIRs and STTRs, and I forget, that's technology-oriented ones. And what that is, it is for new ideas. I mean, there's like 12 agencies in the government that have literally billions available almost every year, and that give out to small businesses to work on creative ideas. So if you have a creative idea for one of the agencies that interested in, like maybe an energy-saving invention or something in healthcare, whatever, what they do is like they give you $150,000 just to develop the idea, And if it looks good, then they give you $1 million. Actually, I talked to a person who got $1 million to work on a little device you put on your arm that vibrates with ice in it and eliminates, the sting from putting a shot in your arm. I mean, it's a simple thing when you think of it, because the nerves that carry stuff to the brain, there's only two things there, and if you, or three, I don't know what I'm talking about, but it was simple when I did it. But any kind of idea. So that's something to look into if you're really interested. Now here's something, $750,000 grant for you to do business with the Department of Transportation. And this is small business for people, this is small business people. And so it's money to help you, figure out these big contracts and stuff like that. So that may be of interest, and particularly, government contracts. I mean, to me, as we talked earlier in the contracts, and we'll cover it again later in another section about government contracts, man, you learn how to get a government contract and it's like elephant hunting, because you got meat for a long time. You keep going, try and get a grant, that's only one time, then you got to maybe get another one. So you're learning a whole system for maybe just once. But a contract, you learn that, and you can use it over and over again. Okay, private investors also get money from the government. They get grants. Private investors get grants from the Small Business Administration to invest in the startup companies or small businesses and stuff like that. So now it would behoove you to go to the SBA site and see which of these venture capitalists are getting money, because they're investing in companies without their own money. That's a nice thing to do. So they're probably a little more lax with that. Okay, now here's another interesting one, is that the government will come out and analyze your business to see if you should make more money. Now they charge for it, but they give you a half a day for free. So it's really, they're getting grants to do this. So they're not like, some vulture is trying to, extract as much money as they can from you. What they're trying to do is make businesses efficient in our country. And so they have these consultants that government has hired. They're usually universities, whether they come out and they give you half a day for free to show you how to double your sales or whatever. If you really want more, then they'll charge it. I mean, that's cool. And I show you the one here where the office is. There's offices all over the country, the office near you. Also, the government has something you want to sell overseas. As a small business, you get $5,000 to go over and go to France and drink your butt off for a day or two. Or to find customers. You could probably do both with it. But it's really to help people find customers overseas, because if you could export your stuff, that's what we're all about in this country. Everybody wants to export around the world. That's right. We actually consume more of other people's exports, so we import more than we export. So we have these kind of businesses, incentives for businesses to export more around the country. And there's a video of a person who handles this program in one of the states. Every state has this, and the same with the other one. I have a video up there of somebody who is in charge of one of these programs at the state level. And you see, there's real people. They're not sharks. From Harvard, going to squeeze every lot of you. No, they're there to help you for free and to get you to improve your business. Okay, here are grants for. That's the SBIR's transportation. I don't know if you realize now, too, that the Small Business Administration, the loans there are available for people who are on parole or on probation. See, if you have that kind of background, no bank's going to talk with you, right? So recently, they made SBA loans, people on parole probation eligible for this thing. So that's pretty neat, too. So that's a major, unfortunately, a major federal program. Everybody thinks, they go to the government for money for your business or grants. Nah, see, that's why when you call an SBA office and ask for a grant, they don't have them. It's this kind of stuff. They do if they know about these that I just told you about, but mostly no. All the other stuff is state and local and county government, and that's what we covered in other sections. So I'll let you digest that for a while, and we'll go to another section soon. So you're looking for the best way to get money to start a business. Do you have any money?
No, I'm working, but it's I'm trying to find I've done research on using your website. You said something about crowdfunding and everything.
About crowdfunding. Yeah, it really, well, first of all, I think it's better not to have money, because if you have a lot of money, then you blow it really doing the wrong things. So the less money you have, I feel, the better chance of success you have, because you'll find a way that's really resourceful, and that's what it all is about. I mean, starting a business, everybody wants a lot of money, and they usually go out of business. So if you have a little money, then you can build something stronger. What kind of ideas for a business you have, Carlos?
Well, I've gotten advice of people tell me that go into business. If you want a business, do something that you're passionate about. Yeah. And my one thing is I like to work out, so I open up a fitness gym.
Okay. Now, Great. No, I mean, and I think that's right, because see, anything, to me, any kind of business you start is such a pain in the ass that if you don't want to be there, you'll leave too quick. So if you really want to be there, you'll hang in and figure it out. Okay, now, so if you don't have a lot of money, to me, what I would start doing, I mean, okay, you could do two things. Okay, let's, you got to get a retail establishment and, you know, equip it and all that, like, and I would think that costs a couple $100,000, right? So you got to go around and find a couple $100,000. Okay, so that means you get a lot of that with loans as long as you have partners or somebody else to do that. Now that's one way, and I could show you a lot of places to start doing that. But to me, another way, see, to me, of all this stuff is, to me, customers are the important thing. So you could build this retail place and all that and a couple $100,000 and nobody shows up, you're screwed, okay? You know, and that's a big overhead. So to me, how can you do something like this to get customers first before you spend any money? Now, a lot of people are doing things like, I would talk to a guy who's doing like an Uber for hairdressers. You know what Uber is?
Yeah, it's, right. It's basically like a taxi service.
Yeah, it is, but it's on a phone. It's an app. I want a car, and I go on my phone, and some guy has a car, and he'll drive me somewhere. It's really what it boils down to. And he gets paid because, you know, I'm already gave the credit card number to the guy who has the platform and everything. So to me, it would be, how can you, you know, you say you're in the fitness training business, but you go to people's houses and do that. You know, does that make any sense? Because see, that's a way to find how to get customers to do that, and you have no investment money. So now from right off the beginning, you're spending all your energy getting a customer, which is automatic money already. Instead of figuring out the best way to spend money, you can figure out the best way to get money, which is customers who want to pay for fitness. You know, and then where do you live, Carlos?
I live in Alabama.
Alabama. Okay. Now, see, another thing what you could do is something like that, fitness pay. You could go to somebody's gym and say, "Hey, I want to use your facilities to do this." So you're going to go find customers that want to work out under your training. I guess that's what you want to do, is be a physical trainer for people too. Does that make sense or not?
Well, I've had people ask me to train them, especially a lot of people at my job. And I've actually went around and asked a lot of women and some other guys, you know, what would they like to see in a gym?
Right.
And a lot of them will say, especially the women, will say the same thing, is that they would expect, you know, they could work out more if they have the daycare, to take their kid there to drop them off at the gym, and then they can go work out. And the guys basically, like, they trying to lose weight and tone up.
Right.
So it's a lot of people, and that's the reason why I've been trying to find a way to know. I found a piece of property to put a gym. It's hard to try to figure out how to get the money to do everything. Exactly.
And then even when you get there, see, then you have the problem of getting enough people to pay for that. So that's why if you work with somebody else's gym, they will like customers. So you give them 20% of the customers, but you run your operation in there. You know what I mean? And then that way you have a way to build a business and then bootstrap. I mean, now you know how to get customers. Okay, now you start with 6 and now you have 15. Well, shit, now I can get a building. Because I know I'll have revenue coming in. I'll do it my way and paint it pink on one side and camouflage on the other side for the guys or something. You know, whatever you think of. You know, so that's why, how do you think about, you know, doing that? Now, the place to help think through any problems you have, legal stuff like that. There's something around where you live called call 211 and ask for the call 211 and ask for a small business development center. These are free consultants that will help you with any problems of putting any way you want to do it.
Your session has ended. Please take a moment to rate this session.
Yes, only if it's important. I don't hear the dumb stuff. Where do you live, Daniel?
I'm in Queens, New York.
Ah, cool. And it looks like you party all the time? Is that right? You have dinner every night with 20 people, like in your picture?
Not every night, but at least 2-3 times a week.
Really?
These are all the people that I mean, these are the closest, the small crowd.
Uh-huh.
It's more between 20 and 40.
Wow. Cool.
So all these people are either were in drugs, had problems in school, had problems with family, had problems in different aspects of life, and basically, you know, bring them together, give them new friends with similar backgrounds, new, you know, self-confidence, just build them up from the ground up.
Oh, that's cool. That's right. And you have a bunch of kids too yourself.
Yeah, I have 6 myself.
Wow. So how do you do that? How do you do both of that? I mean, that sounds like
You have a great wife that takes care of everything at home.
How many wives you have?
Only one.
Oh, only one? I see.
I can barely handle one. You want to give me more?
Oh, no, I understand the problem. So how can I help you? What was your question?
Okay, so basically what I wanted to do was take this to the next level because, you know, these people have friends, these people have families, and I started with 2 guys.
Uh-huh.
And I've been only doing this for a little bit over a year. And every week it's another person, it's another, like I'm almost, you could say 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like life committed to these people. Like, I mean, I have people knocking on my door at 2 a.m. You gotta help me. I don't have a place to sleep. I was kicked out of the house.
Yeah.
You know, husband problem, wife problem, this problem, that problem. You know, this is only the guys. There's a bunch of girls in there also.
Uh-huh.
You see the ages range also.
Yeah.
That picture you can tell. So, I mean, if there was something that I can do, maybe, and get some kind of a funding from somewhere, maybe from a private organization that you know about, from a government organization that would actually, you know, appreciate what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, there are programs. I mean, a lot of that money comes from what's called the community block grant. In other words, you say in Brooklyn or the Bronx? I forgot.
Queens.
Okay. That there's a bunch of money goes out, and then they give it out, they parcel it out to nonprofits like yours that does stuff like this.
I don't even have a nonprofit. I have nothing.
It doesn't matter.
Doing this out of my.
I understand. See, that's right. So if you go after money that is aimed at this, it's going to be, I would think, nonprofit. Yeah.
Right.
And that's the problem with that, because you got to go through that. And I mean, that's not a hassle, but what I would do if you wanted to go through that, I would go and call 311 in Queens there and ask for, just pick one of the services you do, because 311 is a service that is a phone number you could call that finds people like you, but you're not an official person, so they won't have you in their database.
Right. So the other thing I wanted to ask you, do you think that I need to be somehow or some way certified to do this?
It depends. If someone says, I'll give you money if you're certified, then you get certified.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, because I approached a lot of different organizations, and they're like, no, we have to be certified in order to work with us. And I'm like, look, the people that I deal with don't want to be affiliated with an organization.
Yeah, right.
They want to be affiliated with people that they know and think that are their friends and ultimately family. They don't want to be labeled as someone that has a problem. You know what I mean? So basically, what we do is just build them up on a personal level, and it works. You know, like I've seen miracles, like literally miracles, like guys, like heroin addict people, addicts for 5-6 years, no therapy, no rehab, no nothing. Within 6 months, totally clean, got jobs, got married, and their life is back on track like nothing happened.
Well, I mean, I think anything is possible, you know, and especially now, nobody knows what the hell works anyway.
That's what I'm trying to say. And all these people have gone through something that they thought worked.
And so now, but the funding sources, if you go traditional ways, then they want traditional stuff, you know, because everybody's covering their ass, because they're using somebody else's money, so that's it. Now, to me, what goes through my mind is that then you have to find a non-traditional way to do that, okay? And there's two ways, at least in my mind, that is through crowdfunding or one of those kinds of things. In other words, because that requires nothing, absolutely nothing, no certification, no credit check, no nothing. And you tell a story on the internet and you try to get donations that way. And people, I mean, this is the fastest growing source of free money, at least in my eyes. They're, you know, God, it's growing exponentially every year. It's up to about, you know, 40 or 50 billion dollars now that we give out money that way. And it's certainly a lot easier. It takes hustle, but you know, if you're doing what you're doing, you know about hustle, you know, but it doesn't take credentials. It doesn't take background. Nobody cares where you come from. You know, you could be, you know, anything and still do this. Nobody checks all that kind of stuff. So that's non-traditional. The other thing I would think of, I'm wondering if there is, something that fits into capitalism. You know, crowdfunding is still for something like you. I mean, if people donate or whatever. But now, is there something you can develop, sell, package that is sellable to fit into capitalism and also would feed this? In other words, maybe there is to take what you're good at, what all these people are good at, and you have something, a product of some kind to sell to people that would generate money, and the money's going to your thing. You know what I mean?
But again, you have to understand one thing, that because this is fresh, the organization part of it is very weak, because everything, the organization part of everything is just in my head. In order for me to get it out, first of all, I need to be supporting myself as a family, which, you know, today in New York, it's not cheap. You know what I mean? And that's the major headache. If I can at least take that out of the picture and then put my mind to what you're telling me, that's another thing. Unless I can do something that can give me funding that I can feed off both. You know what I mean? That I can feed both holes.
Well, I mean, anything else would be building something slowly. You know, if you're not going traditional route. If you went traditional route, it'd still be slow, but it'd be more secure maybe at the end. But in a non-traditional route, I mean, it's tough to do anything. The other thing is to make sure that you're, you know, taking advantage. You have 6 children. I mean, there's a lot of government programs to make sure that you're taking advantage of all of them. You know, that will help you with daily expenses one way or another. The other thing then is to maybe to take the first step of doing the crowdfunding, because the first step with doing crowdfunding is almost like what you're doing now. I mean, it seems like you're finding me, you're finding anybody else, an opportunity that may lead to something. But now if you spend a couple days building a crowdfunding web page, and now you go to these same people and ask them to donate because they got a way to give money. See what I mean? It's a way to give money. So in other words, you're not going to do this thing. Maybe you could do a crowdfunding. Say, okay, I need 50 grand to be able to do this. Okay. Now, but you're not going to do it unless you get 50 grand. Okay. And because it doesn't have to be that way. You could say any money you get, but it may be interesting because you say you need money to live on, to do it the right way and things like that. So if you say, some bigger kind of number that you need, and to go to the people or whatever to do this, I mean, the wonderful stories you have, you package those stories, put it on. To help you with that, you have what's called there in Queens as business development centers. It's probably at a community college there or one of the universities. And they will help you for free with things like this. Even starting your nonprofit or anything like that, they are a free service to start any kind of organization that's available. And they're called the Business Development Centers. 311 would also tell you about them. And that may be, like the shortest way. And see, that'll give you feedback too. More people, you have something instead of just in your head what you're doing to show to more people, to maybe that other opportunities would come from it. See, the whole thing, I think all of us, we don't know what the hell's out there, and we run into stuff by accident, So crowdfunding is a cheap way to get it out there, to be legitimate also. Because you go around and talking, your guy wants money to do something good, but now you have a crowdfunding site, and maybe people write it up and things like that. You're raising money to do good for this community. And
so the thing with the crowdfunding is, do I need to open some webpage of my own, or do I go to a crowdfunding webpage and put myself on there?
Yeah, you put it on there. Yeah, because that's why I see it takes nothing. Yeah. You don't even have to do that. You just have to work on what that thing is going to look like. And like I say, if you need help,